So in 2014, my sister had just turned 27 years old, and she lived in another city in Pennsylvania with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
She was a loving, caring individual, and I feel like she was just kind of searching for love, but searching for love in the wrong places. She started dealing with this guy. And from what I understand, this guy was a drug dealer, and he didn't like kids. So that's a key part to this story. So one day, he, I guess, had went to New York City, did some things in New York City, and then he
He
was
was a
on.
drug dealer, but didn't like kids. Mm. Hey, all drug dealers ain't bad. Just because a nigga a drug dealer, that don't mean that he necessarily bad. He could be actually doing that. You a drug dealer, he probably, getting to the, what I'm saying, selling dope, feeding his family, got a little side job. That don't necessarily mean that he's a, bad guy. He could just be, this one this little hustle, but I don't know. I don't see how he don't like kids. I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I don't really like kids neither. That don't make me. I mean, I like kids, bro. It's just the more they just they worsen.
On his way back to the city that they were living in.
Yeah.
I guess he called her and said that he was going to pick her up so that they can hang out. And apparently, they were supposed to go to the movies. So he comes into town and he picks her up. And when he picks her up, actually, before they leave, my mom has this feeling, like she has this eerie feeling like something just isn't right. And so she said to her, she was just like, listen, if you're going anywhere, then you need to take your son with you. And my sister was like she was so determined to go out with this guy that she literally was like, okay. Even knowing that this guy didn't like kids, she was so desperate to go that she said, okay. So apparently, like the moments before she walked out the door, my mom said she got like another eerie feeling, and she just was like, you know what, never mind, just leave him here. So she leaves her son there with my mom, and then she goes out the door. So she goes with this guy, and apparently prior going to the movies, they make a pit stop
Mm-hmm.
at his apartment. So they're in the apartment, and from what I understand, while they're in the apartment, at some point she ends up going to the bathroom. And while she ends up going to the bathroom, there is a knock at the door. And from what I understand, with the knock at the door, he looks through the peephole and he sees somebody that he knows.
Mm-hmm.
That's a major part to this story. So he opens the door, and when he goes to open the door,
Mm-hmm.
this guy like kind of bum rushes into the door.
Mm-hmm.
So not the person that he saw in the peephole, it was a man. So he saw his ex-girlfriend in the peephole, so he opened the door, not thinking anything of it.
Mm-hmm.
However, come to find out, the ex-girlfriend had a new boyfriend and she was setting him up. So he bum rushes through the door and comes in, gets him down on his knees, and somehow there's a scuffle and he shoots the guy that my sister is dating in the back of the head. And
Damn.
when the shots go off, of course, they're loud. So my sister was in the bathroom,
Mm-hmm.
so she didn't think anything of it. So she literally screamed. And when she screamed because she heard the shots, that's how they knew that she was there. So
Damn.
they go back there to the bathroom and shoots her twice, once in the upper left arm and then down in the torso.
Oh.
And then they leave. So with them leaving, um, I guess neighbors heard gunshots, but never called 911. I guess maybe didn't want to be involved or what have you.
What?
So come to find out, the boyfriend and girlfriend who committed the crime called some crackheads and had them go back into the apartment and take his phone and my sister's phone. He paid them X amount of dollars to go in there and take the phones. So they go in, take the phones. They don't take any money. They don't take anything else that's in there. They literally take the phones. Take the phones. And then
Boy, you put a crackhead, he don't care about nothing, homie. That money, that same money they gave them, they probably gonna buy some drugs or some. Dang, man. Damn, that's what?
the girl that took the phone then does an anonymous call to 911 and says that she thinks she heard a shooting. However, by this time, they were already, they've been gone. They've already been laid in there, deceased. My mom said that
That's
she
why,
woke.
ladies, you gotta be very careful, man, on who you dealing with, bro, and these niggas, man. Especially niggas that don't know how to do hoes, man. You got to have them hoes spaced out, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta know who you dealing with, bro. You gotta know who you going out with. Be very careful, man. We living in some scary times, man. You just never know. Nothing wrong with dating. You just need to be very careful, man. You don't know these niggas, and you don't know these women either. Women will set you up too. Women are setting a lot of niggas up too, bro, and killing them just to, or they trying to rob them or anything, bro. They may have another obsessed boyfriend that's over them, and you know what I'm saying. You just trying to really genuinely get to meet this girl, and this ex showing up. You know what I'm saying. So I advise everybody to keep a gun with her. Keep that fire with you, my nigga. You can die with that gun, but at least you have some sort of protection. Gotta be very careful, man.
Woke up out of her sleep, and when she woke up out of her sleep, she had just like this feeling. So when she looked, she saw that my sister, wasn't there or didn't come home. So she called her phone, and she said when she called it the first time, the phone rang. It rang until it went to the voicemail. No answer. So she said she waited a few minutes, and then she called the phone again. And when she called the phone again, the phone immediately went to voicemail. So at that point, I'm thinking they had already got a hold of the phones and then maybe turned the phones off so that, I don't know, maybe something with the locations
Ain't
or what have
nobody
you.
calling the ambulance.
So my mom says, even though she was feeling away, it was late at night, so she went to sleep. So as she goes to sleep, there's a knock at the door. And so follow for part 2. This is part 2 on how my sister was unalived with the man that she met 3 weeks ago. To start off from the last video, so at exactly 5 o'clock in the morning, there was a knock on my mom's door. So she thought that she heard something and she wasn't sure. So then there was a knock again. So she gets up and she goes to the door and she says, "Who is it?" And when she says, "Who is it?" the 2 detectives were standing there and they stated who they were. So she opens the door. Yeah. So when she opens the door, she's still kind of like frazzled. Like she's kind of almost feeling like she's in a dream because she opens the door and 2 detectives are standing at the door. So she's like, "Can I help you?" And they say, "Hi, ma'am, we're wondering if you know a woman by the name," and says my sister's name, Aisha Holden. And it's not funny, but my mom says, because you had to know my sister to know how she was. Like she was funny. She always cracked jokes. Like you just couldn't really take her serious. So the first thing my mom says is, "Well, what did she do?" So they said, "Can we come in?" So she lets them in. So I guess they're like asking her all these different questions. Like, when's the last time she talked to her? And she's basically saying like, "Well, I've been calling her. The phone did ring, but now it's going to voicemail." And then she basically breaks down the situation that, she met this guy and that he came to pick her up and he was supposed to be taking her to the movies. And, she went off with this guy and she hasn't heard from her since. She said she started calling her like around 11:45 midnight that night. And the phone, it rang for a little bit and then she started calling it again and it started going to voicemail. So long story short, they ask her at this point, she tells them like, "That's my daughter, like what's going on? Because what is all this about?" Like she's starting to get frustrated because you know how it is when the detectives come, they ask all these questions before they basically tell you what's going on. Damn. So at some point within the conversation, they ask her to sit down. And so she goes to sit down. And when she goes to sit down, they proceed to tell her that my sister was unalived. Damn. At this point, when they tell her that,
she can't believe it.
Like, still does not believe them. Yeah. Like she does not believe that that they just told her that her daughter's unalive. So she's like, "You need to call my daughter." But at this point, she's saying, "Call me." She's like, "You need to call my daughter."
The crackheads just went in there and got the phones. Got the phones and shit.
What's going on? Like, what are you talking about? Is this the joke? she was alone, and at the same time she had my sister's son with her who was sleeping, and at the time he was only 3 years old. So at this point she starts calling my phone, but it's 5:30, almost 6 o'clock in the morning, and I had to be up for work at 7 o'clock in the morning. So, I didn't hear the phone. I had the phone on vibrate. So she calls my aunt, and we're extremely close. So at some point, my aunt starts calling me, and my cell phone, I remember it like it was yesterday. My cell phone
Ringing like a
starts
motherfucker.
ringing on the nightstand, and it actually felt like I was in a dream. The phone was ringing, 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 and it rang so much that it fell off the nightstand onto the floor. And so when I
That's how you know
picked up the
that
phone
good.
because it was ringing, it was my aunt. And I literally like went off. I'm just like, why do you keep calling me? Like, I gotta get up. I gotta go to work, yada, 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 whatever, whatever. So she's like, get up, get up. She's like, I'm on my way to get you. I'm on my way to get you. Something happened to Isha. Something happened to Isha. And I'm just like, what? Now, key part to this. I know this sounds absolutely insane, but 2 years prior to my sister's unaliving,
Yeah.
I had a dream that she was unalived in a ditch. And I remember I called her on the phone and she didn't answer for hours. And when she finally answered the phone, I literally cursed her out. Like, why didn't you answer the effing phone? Like, I've been calling you. I had this dream. I was worried, yada, yada. So it's crazy that
Yeah, I
exactly
ain't gonna lie though, bro. Dreams do, man. And shout out to my sister. My sister, she have a lot of dreams, bro. And this besides the point, like about death. Like sometimes, man, dreams can be signs, bro. Yeah, I believe in that. I believe dreams can be signs, my nigga. It can be signals about a lot of stuff, bro. For real, like nigga, I had a dream, um, about me. I always wanted, a charge, and I didn't have it. You know what I'm saying? But I would always picture and dream of myself having a charge, and I got it. I remember my sister said, somebody's gonna get a baby out of you or your cousin. I'm like, she kept dreaming about people having a baby. It was out of me and my cousin ended up having a freaking baby, bro. Like that's crazy. Like how powerful like dreams and shit can really be, though, bro. It's really powerful. But man, y'all niggas is messing up. Y'all messing up, fam. We ain't gonna be able to get no female, nah, nigga, and take them out, and we ain't. Y'all ruin it for everybody, cause now the women are feeling unsafe with you niggas. Come on, homie. They trusting us to get them and be the most thing you could do. The most comforting thing a man can do is make sure a woman is safe, homie. Come on, man. That's a messed up way to go out, man. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy, man. Like not being a safe environment, bro. This girl thinking you finna take her on the movies, my nigga, and you somewhere, some your ex girl and her boyfriend that came in there and shot, just spraying up everything. Like, bro, that's like, bro. That's why you gotta be you gotta be careful.
crazy that exactly 2 years to the date of that dream, my sister was unalived.
That's
So
crazy.
I get myself, like, I jump up, I'm like frazzled. I'm like trying to get myself together, everything like that, get throwing some clothes on. So I call into my job
Right.
and I let them know that I'm not coming in because something happened to one of my siblings. That was all I said. So in the meantime, by then my aunt gets to my house and it's about a 45-minute ride to where my mom lives in the next city over. So we're riding up there. Now, mind you, as we're riding up there, in my mind, I'm thinking, not that this is a joke, but I'm thinking,
Yeah.
like, there's no way that,
Yeah.
like, this is true. Like, I know
Yeah.
we're going to get there. She's going to be okay. Or, she just didn't come home. Like, there's no way. So while we're riding up there,
It'd be like
I get
that.
online and I look up the news in my mom's city. And it says, male and female found deceased in an apartment building. So, and it's crazy because look at my hands. I'm like shaking, reliving the story. But
Damn.
even then in my mind, I'm like, there's
This
no
can't be
way.
true,
There's no
yeah.
way. There's no way that is her. Follow me for part 3.
Damn, I don't even know. Do you got part 3 on here?
This is part 8 on my.
Dang, I don't even find it. Dang, I ain't even see. Damn, what the other part at? Part one, part. I don't know.
This is part 8 on my sister was unalived with the man that she met 3 weeks ago. So in the previous video, I said that I was going to talk about the church, but then it just got too deep and I got told.
Yeah, we'll.
Hey guys, this is part 6 and 7. Tonight I'm doing part 6 and 7 of.
I can't find part 3 though, man. But we'll. If I do, y'all, man, we'll re-upload one. You know what I'm saying? But damn, bro, that's gotta be crazy, bro. Shout out to her though, man. Y'all gotta be safe out there. Who you fucking with, man? Men and women, both, cause it go both ways. They setting up, killing all types of people, bro. Men and women. It's sad though. Until next time though, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We out.